everything wrong with Paper Mario Color Splash in 43 minutes. From what I heard about this one, it's fine. You know, it's better than Sticker Star, which really was the only goal you had to accomplish. Be not Sticker Star. It would have also been preferable you were 1,000 Year Door, but the bar was on the ground. It's like any game after Sonic 06. It's like, just don't be Sonic 06 and you'll be fine. Hello! This is also where they more emphasize the outside.
The one delivering our mail to us? Why is Princess Peach delivering letters now?
Question was, this is also where they focus on the white outlines around the paper characters. Because they're paper!
A warmer welcome for Princess Peach and the world-famous Mario!
We're gonna go for cinematic style on a paper game, but hey.
Mario.
New system, I guess? Meh.
Mario! We're here! Come on out!
How was Mario the only one to get all crumpled up during the storm?
I guess he was scared.
The title card is here, otherwise I'd have no idea.
Yeah, right? Oh my god, it's Sonic!
This is basically my blood, sweat, and tears. You'll have time to shower later. Use that paint to power up the battle cards your friend gave you.
Battle cards?
And use the battle cards to plaster this introverted assassin.
Introverted assassin.
So, we're just gonna go ahead and attack you now? I mean, that's cool.
They're asking permission first?
Mentioning are the main bad guys.
When they get there, shy guys.
He's done with his whole paint spiel. Oh no. Oh no.
A card system.
It's fucking Sticker Star. Did you look at that game and say, yeah, I want to do that again? You guys remember that whole rant I had during the Sticker Star episode?
We're doing it again?
I need to repeat myself. If you want to know why this gameplay system is fundamentally flawed, just go check that video.
I know it was Sticker Star again. I heard it was better, but
Except,
to be fair, this was a while ago.
This game might be
really.
At first, I was really hopeful. I heard that Color Splash was a lot better than Sticker Star.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So I guess that's why it surprised me to all that jazz. It's just like it's Sticker Star again, but they were told it was good.
I'm not so sure in its visuals,
at least better.
That's just a personal thing. Overall,
yeah.
I like it, but I think I might prefer the older style. Regardless, that's not really my point.
That's an art style thing.
They didn't make a better Sticker Star. They made a slightly less bad Sticker
That's
Star.
where they get,
like
yeah.
Everything I complain about
it's like, is Secret Rings better than 06?
Quote, unquote,
depends on your
but
taste.
None of those so-called
Play-wise, of
make
course.
the game more enjoyable because it still suffers from
the story is better. The Wiimotes.
You guys know me, or at least I hope you do, given that this is like the
would you prefer Wiimote or
Mario RPG
actual
marathon,
game controller?
These videos are more to poke fun at games and point out inconsistencies, mostly in a humorous manner, even if the comedic value is lost on a lot of people whom, for whatever reason, take these videos way too seriously.
Yeah,
my anger in Sticker Star, while genuine, I do hate that game, was an act. I don't explode in anger like that in real life, and despite calling out the fact that people would say that I was exaggerating and that the game isn't that bad, people did exactly that in the comments. I point this out because people usually call these videos reviews, which, at least in my mind, is the last thing they are, but I think I kind of want to get my point across in a more poignant way, so believe me when I say I'm going to tackle the flaws in this game with the utmost sincerity, with a calm...
He did hate color the Sticker Star, but makes sense he upped it a bit for humor.
So, off the bat, something that Color Splash does, which is inherently worse than its predecessor, is the card system. At first,
it's not stickers, they're cards.
Like it's just a sticker system again, and fundamentally, yes, it is.
Wii U.
What makes
That's why
it
they
worse
look
is having
down.
to fill up your cards with paint if they don't have any, on top of using the Wii U gamepad to select your cards and flick them onto the TV once you've selected them. In Sticker Star, all you had to do was pick your stickers. That's it. Surprisingly,
I see, so it's an extra layer to it.
There are 3 different types of combat controls. Basic, basic plus buttons, and advanced touch controls, which all have their advantages and disadvantages. None of them change the game's overall core mechanics, it just manages how you control picking, coloring, sorting, and playing your cards. Basic is objectively the worst option. It's all touch controls on the gamepad where you scroll through your cards by sliding the stylus, drag the card you want to the front, when asked to confirm it asks you to color in your cards with paint if they're not already colored,
I see.
and then flick them onto your TV. You're
Alright.
essentially confirming what you want to do 3 times per turn.
That sounds like a pain in the butt, unless it only works like if it's an RPG where it's like, yes, use flamethrower, yes, use sand attack, done.
You hit yes again, and then it doesn't let you select your target. Also, you're doing all this with touch controls.
Ugh.
Basic plus buttons was my favorite way of playing the game.
Touch controls can be useful, but they're also a pain in the ass sometimes. As a Duel Links player, I can tell you, no, it sucks.
Instead of tedious touch
yes, I want to attack that 5,000 attack 5-headed dragon and not that 300 attack Spirit Reaper. How did you know?
One turn. Advanced touch controls isn't as bad as it sounds. Okay, well, it is, but that's just because the name is deceptive. So I played in this control scheme for most of the game because I hated the basic controls, and basic plus buttons just sounded worse. But in all honesty, advanced touch controls is basic controls with one less step. There's no paint the card screen because you can paint the cards as soon as you drag them onto the card selection, streamlining the process. My question is, why do we need 3 different control schemes? Why not just give us the one? Just have the basic plus buttons controls and add the ability to paint the cards after you select them.
I mean, it is nice they tried adding an option system just to be like, pick the ones you like, but it just sounds like
too many steps for what should
extra
be a simple
steps.
turn-based menu, but if you're going to insist on having these mechanics, the least you could do is make them fun. On top of
Oh, I would
you might
wanna
notice
have
that
fun
I
in a
said
video
you have to
game.
Paint your cards, and that's another issue I have with this game. Remember how in Sticker Star I complained about how having a finite number of stickers really limits what you can do in combat? Well,
Same
Color Splash
problem.
limits it further by having the paint mechanic. In the overworld, I love it. I think it's a genius way to implement a collectathon system that really encourages the player to explore the world. But it's carried over
But
into
in games,
combat,
however-
you get blank cards that require you to fill them in with the same paint meter that you have in the overworld. On the whole,
ooh,
it
hey,
doesn't make a
Fireflower,
huge
nice.
difference, but it's still an extra resource you can run out of, and it was not a fun time when it happened to me near the end of the game. Speaking of
Ooh, they
cards,
brought that
while you
guy's
don't have
flower.
as limiting an inventory as Sticker Star, Color Splash makes up for it in how quickly you burn through cards and how scarce they are. You can hold up to 100 cards in your inventory, which is great.
Yeah,
Even
100's a
better,
good
all the
number.
cards are the same size, so
Good, so you don't
worry
have to do
about
any of
them
the freaking
fit.
finagling in a
The
trunk or
problem
something like in
is
Resident Evil
cards are only
4.
found in question mark blocks by painting blank areas in the overworld and after winning a battle, instead of on the environment like last time. But it's kind of a sunk cost. You'll
Really?
usually use more cards than you get back after a fight,
Ah.
and you'll typically end up with less cards than you started with.
Ah,
So,
that's a
much
pain
like
in the
the
butt.
last game, there's
It's
really
best
no
to avoid
incentive to
combat.
engage. And what annoys me about it is that I feel like that was their solution to this problem from the last game. In Sticker Star, the fights earned you coins, which were then used to buy more stickers, and the same is true here. You get coins because on top of question mark blocks, which only respawn after exiting and re-entering a level, unpainted areas which you can only paint once, and enemies, you can get cards from Prisma Cardware, the shop in Port Prisma.
Okay.
You have limited options on how to get cards, so their incentive for battling feels more like I'm forced to because I need cards, rather than a desire to get stronger and better abilities and say experience.
I see.
But again, you'll typically use more cards during the fight than when you get back, and that leads
Bonk,
me to something I didn't really
bonk,
mention during
bonk,
Sticker
bonk.
Star because it wasn't as big a deal in that game, particularly because of how plentiful stickers were. Much like the last game, you can't choose which attack is going to hit which enemy. It just goes down
I
depending
hate
on
that.
the order of your
Wait,
enemies
why
and the
introduce
order
the
of
whole
your
touch
enemies.
system if
It's
I
so
can't
baffling.
choose who I'm hitting?
Valuable lesson. Just because it functions doesn't mean it's fun. But
You can
cycling back,
just
stickers
let me,
are plentiful in Sticker Star work
you know,
far
drag
more
it.
scarcer in Color Splash. And you really get a sense of that when you defeat an enemy and still had cards in your attack lineup.
I just complain about the dueling system doing that when attacking, but at least I can choose, and I get it right 9.9 times out of 10, just that 0.1%. Ugh.
You lose whatever cards you had to spare. And especially later on in the game, that really stings when you could have used those cards for a more important fight. Speaking of cards to be used during important fights,
Not again.
Comeback in this game, and while
They
I know
brought
I
back
don't
the
have to worry about
things.
size in my inventory, I still have to use them for boss fights and for puzzle solving, which is just as
This
bad.
is basically Sticker Star
And
2.
we'll see the many
No one told me
examples of
this.
story, which I'll call out as we get to them. But here's where my greatest example of the whole they didn't make Sticker Star better, just less bad thing comes into play. In Sticker Star, you had Decalburg and the Sling-A-Thing station, where you basically brought things in to become stickers, which you could then use in combat or for puzzles. In this game, that's streamlined. You no longer have to bring things anywhere to become cards. They become cards automatically after wringing out their paint, which is great.
That's
I'm glad
good.
They realized that having a separate inventory system for just things on their own, which you can't do.
Yeah,
anything with
like in
before,
Pokemon, items and key
also
items.
in Decalburg was the Thing Stand, where you could conveniently rebuy things that you've collected in the past, instead of going through levels all over again just to find the thing you need. In Port Prisma, you have the Ringer, who basically fulfills that role, and there are a
Ring-a-ling.
significantly lesser number of things to collect in this game.
Yay.
In fact, all the things in this game are basically mandatory to collect, and you can't miss them. So far, so good, right? Well, here's the kicker, and where I get admittedly a little irrationally upset. Next to the Ringer is the Know-It-All Toad, and
Really?
at first, I wasn't sure what the point of him was. I figured that he would explain what any given
Yeah,
thing did
explanation
in
thing.
combat, which would be a little helpful considering that the descriptions in the inventory don't really help.
Go
The
figure.
Know-It-All Toad is what I like to call a no soll nicht problem, a German word I just made up, which roughly
Oh.
translates to a solution to a problem that shouldn't exist in the first place.
Yeah, I hate
The
those
Know-It-All Toad is
systems.
an NPC that gives you a hint on what
We broke the game and then put a piece of tape over it. That makes it good now.
If you
No.
recall, one of the many things I complained about in Sticker Star was not knowing what thing I was going to need for any given section. Because
I mean, it's
there
good there's a
was no
solution
answer
to
what
it,
was
but
coming
still, it
until
probably
I
shouldn't
was already
exist.
there. And I can only assume that the Know-It-All Toad was meant to mitigate this problem. In fact, I felt really justified in my complaints once I knew that this guy existed because it made me think that someone on the development team
Yeah, someone knew!
not knowing what thing you'd need next was. But the know-it-all toad doesn't fix anything. Sometimes he'll give you a hint on where to find a thing in an area you haven't even been to yet, so the hint is basically useless. In fact, the hints are only really useful once I know the thing he's talking about even exists, because the things are so random, they could be anything. Like, one of the things he says is, you must seek a red thing on a red road.
I am a red thing!
Which is hot. A red thing on a red road which cools that which is hot.
That doesn't make any sense.
What do you immediately think of? I'm genuinely curious what
Mario on a red road, hot.
If you said fire extinguisher...
What?
But how? How is that
supposed to be? I mean, I get it cools when you are hot. I mean, I guess fire extinguisher, yeah, but what?
Fire extinguisher is used for?
Putting out a fire.
If you said to extinguish a fire, duh, you're right. You're sarcastic and a little mean, but you're right.
Well, what else would it be used for?
Blocking my way or impeding my progress in the overworld. The fire is on Morton's mallet, which you would have had no way of knowing was coming or when to use it during the fight, or even that you had to use it during the fight.
I mean, if I saw fire, I'd probably think, like, don't I have a fire extinguisher that could use it in this? What if I used it as a joke and it worked?
The answer can't
But that's
possibly
me.
be because the know-it-all toad tells you.
There you go, I'm saying this now when he's explaining it to me, and in the moment I can't say what I would know without context.
I shouldn't have to talk to the know-it-all toad after every instance of me using a thing. He's an optional NPC, meaning that it was thought that there would be times you wouldn't have to talk to him, and there are, but that's my point. If the games were better designed, we wouldn't need to have a know-it-all toad. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather have him than not, but
oh, jeez, now everything's on fire.
NPC like him in the first place. It's like when you're trying to lose weight, right? You're doing everything you need to, exercising, consuming the calories you should, but you just can't shake that pesky habit of drinking soda with every meal. So what do? You drink more water so that you can go to the bathroom more often and expel all the soda you drank. Why don't you just stop drinking soda? You're not getting rid of the problem. You're adding unnecessary steps to justify the fact that you won't get rid of the problem. And see, the know-it-all isn't even inherently...
I mean, I guess if you just have the soda every once in a while, that's not a bad thing, of course, but it is screwing over the goal.
The down on every problem that created with Sticker Star and adding a character or mechanic that only serves to prove that it's a bad design choice to begin with. You can't cheat on your wife and then make it up to her by getting her pregnant. You didn't fix the marriage. You just created an unnecessary character that isn't useful in the grand scheme of things, and also you cucked your wife. Okay, if we need a character to give us a hint as to what we need to do,
that was glorious.
Yui, who is only a little bit more useful than Kirsty was in Sticker Star. Why not just make him
that was a good analogy.
He's already designed to guide us in the first place.
Yeah, why not make him the know-it-all? He's gonna be with me 24/7. Just make him useful. Hello.
Think of it. Alongside cards,
Jackpot
introduces the concept of replica cards, which are exclusive variations of the thing cards. Now, initially, I thought this was actually an intelligent system wherein you can have
a spare. Yeah, you got like a backup fire extinguisher.
Letting the player be able to abuse duplicates. However, there are a couple of differences between things and their replica counterparts. For one, you can get replicas for free during the battle spin, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And proved to be pretty useful later on.
Soda! Oh, it's a battery, sorry.
Replica watermark on the front of the animations, which is funny the first time you see it, but gets obnoxious really quick.
Right.
They also do less damage, which I didn't actually know until writing the script. But on top of that, there's one other thing that replicas do, which the game doesn't tell you about at all, which is a much bigger deal than just dealing less damage. Because every single Koopaling requires at least one thing in order to defeat them, and most of them have one-hit KO attacks that they'll use unless you
go figure
at exactly the right time. As stated, the know-it-all toad gives you a hint as to what thing you should use.
Do this, Mario!
That his hint is useful to you during a Koopaling fight. If you use the thing at the wrong time and are only left with the replica, you will lose the fight no matter what because the replica has no effect during boss fights. And I can only reason that it's designed this way precisely because you can get replicas during the battle spin, giving you the chance to what I can only guess they assumed was cheating. You're giving us the means to win a fight only for us to realize that we're going to lose no matter what simply because we don't have the right version of a card that we need. It could get us out of a tight, otherwise unwinnable situation, but no, we just have to take the loss when you could have made replicas far more valuable and your game a lot more fun to play.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a hammer scrap. If you collect
it sounds like a good explanation of everything. It sounds like a pain in the ass system that only added more confusion.
I feel like I just see the number go up, but still spend the same amount of paint on everything anyway.
Hey, remember that time I told you could press up to talk to me? Sorry, it's just really lonely in your pocket. Hey, Mario, you called? It looks like there's some kind of belt that opens the door, but it doesn't seem to be working.
And that's exactly why I don't call you out.
All you do is point out the obvious. What was the point of you? Oh, hello! Did we get friends back?
Man, that was awesome. Having Mario enemies as partners in battle is a lot of fun.
They should make a system based on that.
I promised I wouldn't compare this to the original games.
Oh, come on, man. I kind of forgot they had that earlier on in the game. Just like, wait a minute, we did this before. What happened to that system? Oh, right, they changed it.
Oh my fucking god.
Right?
Okay, you said you'd be chill. Why are they bringing back the paperize ability? Admittedly, it's less intrusive in this game than it was in the last one, but I have the same issues with it, where I end up using it all over the place because it's not immediately clear what to do.
Just spam Batman's detective mode all the time.
So, water does make them wet, but how come only...
Yeah, how come only sometimes? Water make things wet all the time. That's how water works at Toad's pants.
Wait, didn't I just collect Toad's pants? If so, what's he wearing right now?
Underpants?
Underwear? Why do his underwear and his pants look exactly the same?
Yeah, shouldn't we ours be blue?
Mario, follow this super cool blue Toad.
I don't know. Or something.
He's gonna
What are
sail
your...
to the edge of the world.
Then again, I guess we should be grateful I'm not seeing
I
Toad's
guess
Johnson.
This world is actually real. Whoa.
Assuming Toad's a guy? I don't want to think about that any further.
What? This is definitely the Toad you gave the key to. I was following.
Oh yeah? Where's your evidence? They're identical quintuplets. It's impossible to tell them apart. Don't take it so hard.
Mario, something about this smells fishy. They definitely gave the key to this Toad. If only there was a better way to keep track of which Toad is which.
I'll go into detective
A
mode.
much more effective way of cluing me in on the fact that I need to paint the Toads to keep track of them if the one he was giving the key to didn't have a giant ass crease on him.
I
All
can
the
see
people
it right
painting them,
now.
It makes no sense why painting them is what alerts the crowd of the fact that they're cheating.
Hey, what the hell? Is there a battle in here? There is.
How are we fighting inside the pipe?
It's a good question.
I've increased my leg. It's pretty bad.
Is that the equivalent of a broken
Let's see if
leg
we
in
can
this
help
world? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Mario! You fixed my leg!
By slamming it with a hammer.
Toad number 1 of the Purple Rescue Squad reporting for duty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must report to my squad leader in Ready Road immediately.
Wait, didn't you just say you fell off a cliff and creased your leg?
You learn nothing.
This height any different?
Ho-ho! Well met, Mario! I am the mountain sage of Daffodil Peak.
Don't.
Just playing.
Okay, you got me. Fair game.
I'm just a regular old Toad. Sorry to get your hopes up.
You jerk.
Paid all that money for a permit and then busted my shroom all the way up here for nothing.
Did you get here
So you
before
got
all of
screwed
us
over too.
invaded and sucked up some of the paint?
Oh, Bowser's in
Otherwise,
this
I have no
game?
idea how you got here
Cool.
without using the unfurl blocks.
Bowser's in this game. He asks involving a Mario game. Ugh.
You'll be able to populate it with sounds by completely repainting courses.
If there's one kudos I can give this game, it's that at least it's upfront about how awful its completion rewards are. It's horrible, but at least I know not to even bother.
Right? Duck. Good job, Mario. It's funny because we're paper.
Why even have a self-destruct button on your airship? That's just bad engineering.
It's not wrong.
Whoa, shy guy, racist. Weird guy, racist guy. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part.
That reminds me of how I heard that.
I'm guessing because
I've heard of a VTuber called Cuban Reactors Flesh
They'll gladly
Tubers.
fight for us against any other member of the Koopa
Taka!
not bosses.
What the hell? Why does it look like a shiny sprite but red?
Princess Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser. No one could have predicted this.
And
See,
no ability to prevent this, says the only kingdom where this regularly happens.
I think that was a joke, but just like, dude, at this point, it's not even a joke anymore. It's the
You
fact.
know, a self-delivering postcard shaped like Princess Peach. Obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously. Easy joke, but effective.
Still can't get anywhere. Let's take a careful look at that sign over there.
I'm really glad I talked to Huey for that, but that's about the only time asking for his advice really helped because I have no idea how he was supposed to know that otherwise. Don't get me wrong, I love this little misdirection, it's really clever, but in these games you usually read a sign once and then never again because they either offer information that you already know or read something that you'll get the gist of after only having read it the one time. If I hadn't talked to Huey, I would never have read that sign again, but then again, the only reason I talked to Huey was because that was literally my only option, and in a game that's already taught me that there are levels that you have to leave and come back to because sometimes you need something from a different level in order to proceed, They really took a gamble on that design choice. Especially
Yeah.
Huey's optional advice is pretty non-essential.
Pretty useless. He's pretty useless, Captain Obvious.
That perhaps takes the proverbial cake for the dirtiest thing I've ever heard in a Mario game.
Yep.
I feel like that sentence alone should bump up the age rating of this game to at least
T for teen.
It'll help us, but let's give that boat a squeeze. You know, for science.
Never mind. That is the dirtiest thing I've ever heard in a Mario game. Teetering on M for mature game.
And that makes... Oh, God. And now it's rated R. Good job. Oh, jeez.
I've seen that coming. And beyond just the initial chase,
Right? I hate those ones that are just like, okay, know how to run ahead of
I have
time.
to do it
How?
over and over again through trial and error.
So this is a Dragodon fossil? I wouldn't want to run into this guy in a dark alley.
Why not?
I
He's
didn't
dead.
expect it to be so colorless. Kind of looks like it's been drained.
Hint!
Yeah.
Hint!
I mean, fossils are brownish or yellow, I suppose, but they're still bones, which
Dead.
are and always have been colorless.
I mean, typically, yeah, I mean, I know it's a cliche, it's not accurate, but bones are usually depicted as white in media.
The horrendous black
It's inaccurate, but
was dropped on
it's
Sunglu's
fine.
ledge. It painted everything black in an instant. Bowser just watched and laughed, seemingly pleased with himself. He must have given the order. Why haven't you rescued me yet?
Chill,
I'm trying!
I
You know it usually takes me to the end of the game to do so.
It's not like this doesn't happen every other week.
Also, I hate Bowser. I hate that Bowser's been reduced to
Don't hold back. You
Bowser.
like. Or hug the bone if you prefer. I was told that's
Oi.
what you might do as well.
Oh, is it now? You were told I might hug the bone? I guess there's someone out there spreading rumors about me. This is the only...
Seize the bone,
We're
princess.
explicitly told what
Seize the
right, given the
bone.
thing right before, just to make
It's a
sure
riff
you
tracks,
have it. Throwing me a bone, as
well,
it were. Otherwise, I would have had
Riff
nothing
Track
to
reference
bring me
to
enough to fight the bone.
Jack the Giant Slayer. That was it. Well, bye. So he just came up from behind and sucked you dry, eh? Was that all a
No
dream?
way. So it was Bowser's underlings who drained that toad of color and mailed him to you guys.
We needed help to
Duh,
figure.
Huey. Who do you think did those things?
What we
Go
did?
over and over, and we've
If
seen
it wasn't
cycles.
Bowser, I would have
That
been
was a
shocked.
question.
Oh man, looks like another giant wall block.
It was Dr. Wily from Mega Man. Gee, I wonder what this would need.
Paint Star painted this entire giant coin for us. We're rich, Mario.
It looks about the size
There's
of
nothing
Mr.
left to do
Krabs'
but twirl our
first
mustaches
dime.
and count our money.
This must be worth like a 1 ounce.
What? That only counted as one coin? Shenanigans! Shenanigans, I say!
Okay, Huey's 100% right about that.
That humongous
It's a
coin that can
coin
make
I
several coins.
several coins
Still
out.
only
It
count as
counted
one. That is
Mario, did you hear
Alex.
that? Paranormal
It's like, well, it
activity.
is only worth
That
1
goes
coin.
in
It's, I don't care. You think Batman's giant penny is still only worth 1 cent?
Get it? Inkling.
Hey.
Okay.
This book was completely blank before, so I couldn't read it. But now that I can read it, it's actually really, really boring.
I've had those books.
Boring when it was blank?
Leave this to me.
Maybe because his imagination was able
You
to
got
decide
a
what
lot
the
of
book was.
guts coming out to you by yourself, Mario.
Do I?
I like your style. You and me, mano a mano.
Me,
Hand
Vladitor!
to
Wait.
hand, right? We both use our hammers, and if anything, I use my
Hand
feet.
to hammer.
It doesn't really apply to either of us. Dark Blue Inn
Just
is
full of
probably the
its-
most memorable level in the game, but kind of for all the wrong reasons. Everything in it is pretty straightforward, except for the Toad in Room 301, whom I have no idea how you're expected to find. You go in, the room gets messed up, and then you have to wait for a house cleaning toad to show up, who proceeds to kick you out of the room,
Duh.
and then you have to wait for him to finish cleaning, and then you go back in again to paint near the telephone. Like, what? The only reason I didn't finish the level the first time I played it was because I genuinely had no idea what it was I had to do. All Huey would tell me was to ask around for clues, but everything the toads told me wasn't specific enough. Yeah, I know there was a house cleaning toad. Yes, I knew that the ghost toad was calling from within the room, but why do I have to wait for the house cleaning
Spooky.
toad to show up first? Why can't I just paint the toad after he trashes the room? It's not like he's not in there anymore. We interrupt Color Splash to bring you a reference that was dated 17 years before this game even came out.
What, Armageddon? No, wait, he dodged the meteorite. It's Matrix. I'm being an idiot. I'm so used to it being bullet time that meteor time is new
this
to
shy
me.
guy is really quick. Seems like he'll be tough to beat. Press the manual button if you need a hint on how to defeat him.
Are you kidding me? You're having me read the electronic manual.
Yeah, wait a minute.
No one ever opens just like
Who reads the electronic manual? Put your hand down, you're full of it.
Huey just tell me that.
Mario, thanks to you, we got our precious ship back. Actually, this ship.
This reminds me of when I was playing, originally when I was playing, Lego Dimensions Sonic, and you open the, in order to build the Sonic rides, you have to open the tutorial, book thing in the game. They don't give you the book in real life, you gotta do it in the game. It's like, that's stupid! What if I want to get a head start in real life, or just want to make the things? Sorry, I gotta play our game first.
He's a pirate, can he not swim back here? And even if he can, it's not like he would have to spend too much time.
You wanted to save on paper.
Well, yeah. Colorless area right next to him that leads him here.
Great.
Also, the Shy Bandit. So
I don't get this reference, but it's nice.
Reappear on the world map, and you have to get to him as quickly as possible to.
Yeah, you gotta cut him off.
What it does is suck up paint from any level you've already visited.
Frig
On that level, meaning that if you cleared 100% of the colorless spots on a level and you don't stop him in time, you have to go back in and clear those spots again. What collectathon-hating monster came up with that mechanic?
So doesn't want you to 100% the game.
Goomba could randomly show up in Peach's castle, and you have to chase him down before he gets into a painting. Otherwise, he'll put back some of the coins you've collected.
Oh, you bastard!
The 100 coin star, and that's not even the worst part. The level the Shy Guy Bandit targets and the one
is random.
To you are both random, meaning that he can spawn closer to his target than you are, giving you zero.
Frig! How am I supposed to catch that with that in time?
He just came out of TikTok clock, and the Goomba spawns in the basement, headed for Hazy Maze Cave. No matter what,
Grabby's gonna run.
You'll never catch him.
You bastard!
Revert your progress. Not story-wise, but it absolutely does for 100% completion through no fault of my own as a player.
That's just a pain-in-the-ass system. Might as well just restart the game at that point. But you got so much work done, too.
Okay, third dirtiest thing I've heard in a Mario game. Oh, fucking of course this is Sin 69.
Yeah. Of course it's Sin 69.
Are we underwater? We can still breathe.
It's got the air bubble.
What? We've been able to breathe underwater before. In Super Paper Mario, there was an entire level where we could do that.
Mario can just breathe underwater. They don't explain it. He just can. It's whatever.
So, you see the problem with needing to paint my cards? I can't even get through Sniff It or Whiff It without running low on paint. How am I supposed to do battles? And while on the subject, I don't understand why buying a set of cards from the Sniff It outside is optional. You need those cards in order to beat Sniff It or Whiff It, potentially even twice. Because something that didn't cross my mind in the last game, particularly because I was going for 100% anyway, is that the bonus prize for beating the bonus round is actually required to beat the game.
Ow.
It's an additional thing you can choose to do. Meaning that if you don't win each round perfectly the first time, you're going to do it all over again until you do.
Lucky us.
That card is an awful minigame because you need to be very precise in how much you paint the card. Paint it too much and you have to restart the entire process, and that's really easy to do.
Yeah.
How did you find me, Mario? I'm practically invisible.
Snake.
Suddenly, Paper Gear Solid.
You're right.
Man, that was spicy. But it's so worth it.
It's good to see there was a new Metal Gear game. Well, not new, technically it's a remake of a bunch of old games, but still. Hey, Metal Gear got stumped in. It wasn't total ass. I'll give it that.
Rio?
What do you mean, AMI?
Care to do some jogging with me?
No, not really. I guess so, after all.
He has no leg. Okay.
Quit bragging, you classically trained halfwit! There's a big paint star here, I know it! You can't hide it from me! I can smell things! Things normal paint cans can only dream of smelling!
You can smell? You don't have a nose.
Right. I do have the blue big paint star.
Okay, so admittedly this one is a nitpick, but it's always bothered me that it's the blue big paint star because, like, it's not a real rule, but in English, adjectives have a hierarchy that people just sort of agree exists, lest you sound like a crazy person.
Why, so it should be
It goes
big
opinion,
blue instead of
size,
blue
age,
big?
shape, color, origin, material, purpose, noun. So typically you could say you have a cool big old 6-pointed blue prismarium paint life-giving star.
Now we're nitpicking the grammar.
Use that order, but it just sounds better that way.
No, to be
You don't say
fair,
old
he's
tick
more
bitties,
common
you
than
say
anything else.
tig old bitties. Now, big paint star itself is the noun, making blue big paint star correct, but big is an adjective that just
So normally it would
sounds
be
wrong
big
coming
blue
after
paint
color,
star. I did
especially
think this
since
one was a
the
little
word
off
that
with blue
follows
big,
paint
but
is
yeah, I didn't
also
think too
an
much about
adjective.
because who cares? Well, apparently, sorry, but
Why
still.
does it need to be mini and big paint stars? Or why couldn't blue paint star be the noun?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Fuck the Ludwig fight. Yes, I'm given the tail cards, which you need in order to counterattack his cannonballs, but if you mistime any attack and get hit,
20 damage.
card that isn't
Yikes.
your best option, it's your only option. On top of that, if you don't have the balloon thing, you won't even be able to touch him later in the fight.
Yikes. Sounds like a pain in the ass. Oh no, they've got paint. Run! Well, that was another fever dream. Predictions.
So that's what happened.
Bowser did it.
Invaded with a ton of airships and hauled off all the paint.
Did we really need...
Yeah. Again, we knew that already. This isn't news.
Did we really need all these explanations about how all this happened? You could just said Bowser did it and I believe you. Like, in fact, I would just default assume Bowser did it. It's a Mario game, for frig's sake.
Hold it!
Okay, the Shy Guy Psych Out was funny. The Koopa Troopa was a great twist on a twist, but now it's just old. Why would the vortex still be going if I rang the washing machine like 5 minutes ago?
I don't know.
Ah, it's one of those weird pipes. Fortune Island must have a parallel world too.
Parallel world?
It's a parallel world, not just a parallel island. There's most likely a parallel Port Prisma too. It all has to connect somehow.
Eh. Mechanics.
There's so much smoke! I can hardly breathe!
You
Aren't
breathe?
like a sentient magical paint can? Why do you have lungs? Hope you knew you needed the instant camera for the Wendy fight, because unless you go all the way back to Port Prisma and talk to the know-it-all Toad, it's merely implied that you should have it.
Oh, great. They're just doing marching, they're freaking sucking. Suck, suck, suck. This game sucks. Great. And Bowser's covered in ink. Fantastic. Everything's gone from bad to worse. This sounds borderline Imperial March.
Those Slurp guys sucked the paint out of everything in Port Prisma.
We noticed.
This already. We've known this for as long as we've known you.
I like how the big revelation. He's just patting out time. He was not breathing. He breathes.
Mario, what was I doing? I remember I flew in with and fell in the pool and then...
What, have you got something in your throat? Is that who just spits things out?
That's better. I hope you didn't panic too much when I went under the sand there.
Took
Good
that
thing I don't need to
sand in his
breathe.
mouth.
That's the benefit of not having...
But then what was the point of earlier? This game contradicts itself!
There isn't actually much worse I can do without raising this game's age.
Or is that
Breaking the
the... Or is it a joke about being like, I can hardly breathe. Oh wait, I don't breathe.
Just wow. So you basically have to know how to cook in order to win this fight, and that's
Cooking?
no exaggeration. You have to tenderize the steak by beating it with your hammer. If you use a jump attack, you will fail. Tenderize too little, and the VIP will complain the meat is too tough. Tenderize it too much, and the meat will collapse.
Ah, great, we made a cooking minigame in this
Next, you have
Paper
to
Mario
season it by using
game.
the salt and pepper thing. Grill it with either the charcoal grill thing or 2 excellent rating big flour attacks, and then add flavor with the lemon thing. All those things need to be done in that exact order. You cannot season it, add the lemon, then grill, because then
Or
it
else you
tastes the-
fail.
You also have to do the fight all over again. Also, you can't use replica cards during the fight.
I
Also,
use the
you have
real
to do
thing.
all those things within 3 turns.
What? I have to do
Also, if you
all
get
that in
mistake done right
3
within the
turns?
attempt, you have to start
How?
paying 1,000 coins every time you want to start over. On top
Just
of the money you
restart
probably
at that
already spent
point.
on the ringer by getting the things you need back. It kicks you down, kicks
I don't
you
know if-
again,
then again, I don't
kicks
know
you
if
a
this
third
quick
time,
save
then starts
things,
charging
like-
you money just so it can keep kicking you on top of the money you were already paying.
Dude, it's like the arcade games, but they start
Oh, you
in
need
the old
megaphone
days, but they
thing
actually
during this part,
kick
otherwise
you,
you're
and they
gonna
take
have to
more than a
walk
quarter.
all the way back to Port Prisma to get it.
Well, bye.
God damn, Toad number
See.
34 of the Red Rescue.
Flash
Force
ain't
is fast.
nothing.
Jeez, does Larry's fight suck too. There's this engineer
cool that we're on a
who's
train,
gonna
though.
help you
I like
get
trains.
Larry off of the smokestack, but you need to cover for him because it takes him 3 turns to get there. What this means is that you have to get rid of all the enemies on screen every turn.
Replica Mario,
Because
great.
If you don't, the Toad doesn't just stop advancing, he loses progress, meaning you have to do it all over again.
Lucky
on
us.
top of that, you need the cork thing for this fight, and the only way you would have known that is because of this line from Fishy Boopkins over here, which I thought was a throwaway line. Why would I ever think anything?
Hi, Boopkins. Can't complain about seeing him. Let me guess. We fight the dinosaur.
What? But why? We painted in the Dragodon's bones, not the Dragodon itself.
And that bring the Dragon back to life. Yeah. What a twist! We fight it. Star comes up. I honestly thought his bones would come up for a second.
That had hurt. We were just trying to
So
calm
right back
him
where we
down.
started.
But now I feel guilty.
I don't. It attacked me.
Wow, he's really out of it.
He's gonna be our bow,
He's
isn't he?
not moving at all.
I think we killed him. He's dead
If we
again.
could find something to tempt him, maybe we could, like, ride him around.
Oh,
Why
I'm
can't we
done
just-
with this? It's bad enough that I had to come in here, wake the Dragodon up, escape the level before the Dragodon set me on fire, go back to Port Prisma, get a basin thing, come back to Red Pepper Volcano, and knock the Dragodon out. Now I have to leave the level again, go all the way
Just
back
to get.
Cobalt
Why
just
can't
to
it
buy
just
a
do
magma
that?
burger,
Just like, hey
come back
Mario,
to
you
Red
must
Pepper
be my
Volcano.
friend.
You know when the
I'll
last time
help
I was
you
before
go.
Cobalt was? 8 hours ago.
8 hours?
In that time, would I ever think I needed to get a magma burger or even the basin for that matter? I haven't needed.
They're just
either.
adding steps
People
for more
complain about the
fetch
backtracking
quests.
in the older Paper Mario games, but I swear it is not as much of a chore as it is here. Is the backtracking easier? Sure, but it's also like 3 times as frequent as it was in the first few games, assuming you don't already have what you need. Which,
Ugh.
why would you? So
Nobody likes
remember that
fetch
bottle
quests.
opener and ice pick things in the Golden Coliseum that are super easy to miss because they just look like background objects? I hope you didn't miss them because you're supposed to hold on to the bottle opener for this part.
Well,
Ah, Mario! Maybe you can help me out with something.
doubt it.
I work at the Tangerino Grill, and we've got this huge block of ice taking up space in our freezer.
How's that my
Come
problem?
back here to find something to melt the ice, but I can't jump that high. Got any pointers for me? I've never been any good at jumping.
How?
Well, Mario here is one of the best jumpers I've ever seen. He could probably go pro if he wanted. So we'll go find the thing you're looking for and deliver it to the Tangerino Grill.
Wow, really? Thanks a bunch. I'm still on the clock, so I'm gonna go take a nap somewhere and rack up some overtime pay.
Dunk! Great.
I thought he said he couldn't jump.
You're right, he just jumped. Fucking liar.
Oh, he's giving you a warning.
Oh great, he's
That's pretty
Dennis.
cool, enemy.
I'm a
He
really
said, "I'm
lazy
literally made out of
engine.
fire, and you're made out of paper. Good luck, kindling."
You're also a liar.
You're made out of paper too.
You
aren't
will burn yourself.
You literally have a white outline just like every other paper being in this world. This game's Kamek battle isn't as bad as the last one in my opinion, but it definitely represents my issues with its combat system. Kamek flips your cards over, so unless you knew the position of every single card in your deck and what cards you had, you'll probably play a card you didn't mean to play, rendering certain cards useless. After that, Kamek reduces your card count, meaning that if you had a card you intended to play next turn, well, tough luck. Last but not least, he gets rid of every single card you have, forcing you to use the battle spin. And while it's not completely random, you do have some influence over the battle spin, I'm basically relying on luck to win this fight because I have no other choice.
What a pain in
Hope
the
you knew you needed the battery
toad.
thing for this part.
Let's try changing our perspective a little bit. This is gonna use up a little bit of paint, but it's totally worth it. So go ahead and press Y and see what happens.
Oh. This is
Wow.
neat.
That's even crazier than I expected. You should try doing this all over the place.
We could have done this all over the
The
place.
thing is, I can only help you hold this perspective for a little bit at a time. Like 10 seconds.
Does that count right
Bring
now?
back a mechanic from Super for one level and think it'll make the rest of the things you brought back from Sticker Star acceptable.
Because let me tell you, it doesn't. Haha. He's dead. We lose. The end.
What?
Yeah.
How? How did he explode and then just
Magic
come back up
trick?
perfectly fine? See, this fight perfectly exemplifies the reason that not being able to choose who I attack just isn't a good design choice when you have enemies whose behavior is dependent on another enemy.
Wow, what a
The Dino
pain.
Rhino Tamer is always up in front, and it's just a regular Shy Guy, so I'm most likely going to defeat him, even though I don't want to, which causes
Because you
the
want to
Dino
attack the
Rhinos to
Dino
destroy
Rhinos
because they
first
don't
and
have a
have them
tamer
going
anymore. You
crazy.
would think that the solution is just get rid of all of them at the same time, but the Dino Rhinos are a late game enemy, so naturally
They
they're
have more
difficult to
health.
defeat compared to the
And
Shy
he
Guy,
stabbed the
which
Shy
I've been
Guy.
fighting since the start. Even using things doesn't help because the dinos and the tamer won't be affected the same way. All this could be mitigated if I could choose to get rid of the dinos first so I don't have to deal with their rage attacks. So, for once, I was actually prepared to face a Koopaling because I had just gotten the ice
Oh,
pick
hey,
not
that's
too
good.
long ago and the disco ball thing right before this fight. But the only reason
But
I even
great.
had the ice pick was because I completely missed it earlier. If you picked it up when you first came across it 17 hours ago, how are you supposed to know to bring it with you?
You're not,
And even then,
apparently.
I figured, okay, well, he has his ball, I have the pick, I have to pop the ball. But if you do it too early, he brings out his Wonder Ball,
A
which
bigger
has spikes
ball.
on it. It can only be popped with the Ice Pick, which you've just wasted and can't use a replica of.
Crap.
Playthrough, how are you ever going to see that coming?
You're not.
The
You
concept
do
philosophy
the
of
things
bosses
right,
is,
and you're
well,
still
now that you failed to
wrong.
defeat the boss because you didn't use the exact unique cards required at the exact time you needed to use them. Start the fight all over again because now you know just a little bit more than you did before, instead of giving us room to experiment and afford us the opportunity to make mistakes. It's not me making mistakes that cost me the fight that bothers me. It's the knowing I'm going to lose because I could only make the mistake once during the entire fight.
What a pain in the
I could be at
butt.
full health, have an entire deck of great cards, and none of that will matter because unless I get rid of that Wonder Ball, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
The most health you can have at this point in the game is 175, and when he has the Wonder Ball out, Lemmy's Wonder Ballistic
Jeez!
attack does
163
damage every time. And unless you have an endless supply of Mega Mushrooms, you're not going to do
What a
enough damage
pain in
to
the
avoid
ass.
you because his Wonder Ball avoids all of your attacks.
Mario, Lemmy's Wonder Ball dodges instantly, so you won't hit it with a normal attack. But I have an idea. Let's trick them into dancing and then pop the ball with something sharp while their guard is down.
You
We had-
motherfucker, Huey! Why didn't you tell me this the first time I fought it?
Even when you can
See
be
what I
useful,
mean
you're
when I say that this is a
useless.
sticker star, but less bad. I'm only
least
giving
the
advice
tiara
when
helped.
I already know what I need to do. This would have been much more useful the first time the Wonder Ball came out.
Seriously.
So that's what happened. It all makes sense now.
No, it doesn't.
If you mix all 6 of the fountain's paint colors, the paint turns black. Bowser was just having fun mixing all the paint together. He didn't have an evil plan after all.
Oh, bollocks.
You're telling me we could have avoided this entire game if we just installed a don't mix the paint sign?
Look, just because you doesn't make it any less stupid, you still made the conscious decision to make that the plot.
Yep.
Mario, it's a me. I
Hi,
don't know how it
Luigi.
happened,
Good to
but
see you
some
again. It's been a
being fell
while.
Out of the sky and repainted my car. Let's race down Rainbow Road
Good
and
for
save
you.
Peach. Luigi X Machina.
Yeah, right?
Yaha!
Is there a
We're
Paper
alive!
Mario Cup
But now Princess
cart?
Peach is gone. I'm beginning to understand why you've been fighting this Bowser guy for 30 years.
Wait, actually? I mean, when this game came out, yeah, it had really been 30 real
For the
world
paper
years, but
version? Dude, just in the universe.
I guess Mario has been fighting Bowser ever since he was born.
Dang.
Mario's age being canonically confirmed to only be 30 in Color Splash just feels
Weird.
weird. Because like,
Of all
unless
places to
those
confirm, it would
adventures
be
happen in the
Paper
span of a few
Mario.
years, Mario goes from being an infant to a man. He's never been a kid or a teenager. So the final boss is one that I don't have much to complain about, considering the rest of the bosses.
It's like
in
the
game,
mushrooms,
and
you go from small to
especially
big.
The last game's final boss, but there
No
is
teen.
one thing that makes it a little frustrating, and it had less to do with the boss itself and more with the design choice I discussed earlier. While you don't need any special thing cards for this fight, you're going to need an assload of cards.
Ah,
to
he
make
just
this
eats
fight
your
work.
cards.
Will you
Ugh.
survive with the battle spin? Yes, and you're probably going to have to anyway, because Black Paint Bowser's gimmick is that during the fight, he can regenerate any paint that you might have knocked off of him. And during this phase, you're using Huey to absorb the black paint he attacks you with so he can't regenerate. But if you whiff an attack, Bowser gets back all the paint that you knocked off of him that turn,
no.
meaning that you effectively wasted
What a
all
pain
the
in the
battle
butt.
cards you used if you didn't block his attack. And the thing is, this fight has a turn limit, where if Huey
Turn
blocks too many
limits?
attacks, he can't go on anymore. And I actually don't mind that too much, because at the end of the day, if you can't block his attacks, that's kind of on you, considering that his attacks are simple to learn and you're given enough room to mess up blocking a few times. But the problem is that I know that this would be far less of an issue if we didn't have a finite number of attacks, which forces us to use a battle spin where we can only get one card in a system that expects us to use 4 cards every turn.
Ah,
You want to know what the only difference between this and the 100% completion ending is?
stars.
Huey's in the center of the screen. That's it.
What a waste! At the end, all you get is a friggin' postcard. Blech. What a load of scrap. Yeah. It's a shame to hear that it's just basically Sticker Star 2. I heard it was better, but I didn't know it was just Sticker Star 2. What a shame.
My supporters on Patreon and my channel.
What a letdown. Like, I heard Origami King was better, but now I'm thinking, is that just Sticker Star 3? Nobody likes Sticker Star. Why'd you do Sticker Star again? Like, you didn't have to specifically go the Sticker Star route either. You didn't have to go automatically, like, 1,000 Your Door either. I mean, that would have been preferable if you did, like, the old school Paper Mario games. But if you had to go, like, some other way, just do Super Paper Mario again. Go back to the previous game. Do that one. Sticker Star was a one-and-done mistake. We're sorry. Here's the game you liked again. I mean, ugh. Just freaking Super Paper Mario 2. That people like that one. I don't get it. I know they like to experiment with different things. That's a Nintendo philosophy. Just always experiment, always try new things. If it doesn't work, well, we just won't do it next game. If it does work, then we can make the entire franchise based off of it. But they love mixing things up. I know they like changing things, but sometimes the status quo is the status quo, because at the end of the day, they say like mixing things up. I'm sorry, but the story has been Bowser kidnaps Peach for 30 years. No. Mix it up in certain ways, at least gameplay-wise, of course. Yeah, I'm just disappointed. Couldn't even get this, but I also didn't get a Wii U. If you're ever thinking of buying a Nintendo product, skip a gen. Because the philosophy is always like, you can like the consoles, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's usually like they have their hit, and then a flop, and then a hit, and then a flop. We'll see what happens with Switch 2. It's probably not going to flop, to be fair, given how many people sold out the dang thing to buy an oversight. You know what? If you have a Switch 2, fine on you and whatever the hell. I looked at that business practice and was like, oh hell no. I'll stick with the Switch. Thank you very much. If I miss some games, I miss some games. I'm willing to take that sacrifice. But that's me. Who knows what will happen in time. But anywho, yeah. It's a shame to hear that this is just Sticker Star 2. Damn. Oh well, maybe Origami King will be better. Time will tell. I know there's a crossover next, so that should be fun to get into. But we'll get into that one next week. For right now, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you all next time. Later.